I want the tire to fit in the rack with a friction fit, so I'll make the opening just a little smaller than the tire. I've set up a stop block, and I'll cut the back and sides of the rack at 12 inches. The size of the opening is determined by the width of the back, and I'll make the back a little smaller than 2.5 at 2 7/16. The sides of the rack need to be ripped at 6 inches. I clamp the parts together to make sure I've got a good fit, and that looks pretty good. I do like to take a hand plane to the edge just to soften it up a bit so I don't cut into the knobs. And before I do attach these, I need to drill holes for the dowel. I'll clamp the parts together so I can drill both holes at the same time. Measuring from the top in 1 inch. And then the center at 6 inches, I'll drill a 1/2 inch hole. I'm using a little wood glue, and I'll tack the parts in place with an 1.25 inch nail. And then I'll use 2 screws for a stronger connection. What an idiot. I just did it the wrong way. Put the round over on the outside. Let me put another round over here. Just so it's uniform, I'll plane the outside of this one down too. Okay, well, pretty cool. I really like this bike rack system. It's great having both bikes in the shop here. I've got a little bicycle stand over here that I built. And because these are pedal assist bikes, it's great to have them stored like this. And then I can have the charging system right there. And when I'm not riding the bikes, I can plug them in. Now, full disclosure, I did have to raise the ramp for the black bike another 2 inches. So now it's 4.5 inches higher. And I also had to raise the rack. Right now it looks kind of sloppy. I'm gonna make that a little bit nicer, maybe even put a channel to help guide the back tire. Might do something like that for the white bike too. And the video that blew up and got the 160 million views, it was a short, and the title of the short was "What if the tire goes flat?" Because I was asked that question when I was talking about the project on Instagram almost 2 years ago when I made the first rack. And so I made that short and basically answered it by letting the air out of the tire, and then the bike falls back and gets caught by the dowel. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a great system. It works for me. Because these bikes are relatively heavy at 56 pounds each, I wouldn't want to have to lift them onto some kind of a rack or some kind of a hook. So the idea that the tire fits into the rack with a friction fit, and then you have that little safety pin, works for me because you can put the bike away and then walk around and put the safety pin in to keep it from falling. There is the very rare occasion where the spoke will be in the way and then you can just rotate the tire, but that almost never happens. It's odd. You would think it would happen more often, but like you can see, it just generally doesn't happen. A little bit about these bikes. They are both Bulls Copperhead AM3s. They're pedal assist, which means there's no throttle. You have to pedal in order to get assistance. And for me, they've been just total game changers. I had the opportunity to ride a pedal assist bike a few years ago. I bought the black bike almost 2 years ago, and it's been a total game changer in my health. I'm exercising so much more because you get a workout from the bike, and when I don't have the time to go on a good long ride, I'll go for runs, hikes, I'll do calisthenics, weightlifting. And I mean, I think it's just all part of sort of hitting those mid-50 years and all of a sudden saying, hey, I better stay in shape here. So for me, the fun factor keeps me riding. And because I want to have fun, I don't want to get injured, that keeps me lifting and doing calisthenics and all the other stuff. So it's really been almost like a life-changing thing to get into pedal assist mountain biking. So a lot of fun. If you've been on the fence and you're thinking about it, check them out. I'm sure you can do a demo somewhere. And yeah, these bikes are great. They have the Bosch system, and I like the fact that it's a big company, Bosch, and I haven't had any issues with the motors. So that's always something with new technology you might be a little nervous about. But yeah, a lot of fun. I think the rack system is great. If you build one, go ahead and put it on Instagram and tag me. I'd love to see it, and I'd like to share it on my Instagram. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.